right. Welcome to our yoga class today. Once you get yourself ready and organized, you've got your room set up just how you'd like it, your yoga mat's laid out, and you can see my workout space easily from your workout space. Let's take ourselves into position. We will be starting in our relaxation pose. Most traditionally, that's Shavasana. If that's comfortable for you, taking that now, laying flat on your back. Otherwise, finding a position that you can begin your practice in that's both comfortable and relaxing. And we'll get ourselves into that position now. As we join in to our relaxation pose, starting our practice off by calming the mind, lowering our resting heart rate, and just making sure that we're comfortable. If we're feeling like this is not the right position for us, go ahead and change that. And again, while we are getting ourselves in position, I want to stress the importance of setting aside everything else that's going on through our mind and through the day, and really use this as an opportunity to focus on self-care, our mental health, our physical health, our spiritual or emotional health. Practicing mindfulness, being present, enjoying every moment as it comes, and listening to our body, taking any modification that it's asking for, taking rest when we'd like that. Bringing our full focus to our breath now. Breathing in through the nose, feeling the stomach, the ribs, the chest rise. And breathing out through the nose, feeling our body soften, melting into the mat beneath us. Noticing as we're beginning our practice with relaxation, if we're feeling fidgety, or if we can't quite still that wandering mind, that's okay. When you notice yourself doing that, see if you can stop the movement, the fidgets. See if you can slow the wandering mind, bring our focus back into our stillness, our breathing. Taking deeper, fuller breaths now. Noticing the tempo of your breathing, the depth of each breath. And with our next inhale, we'll reach our arms long up over our head, taking that nice big stretch. Perhaps our backs peel off the ground. Maybe our arms touch the floor. Notice how this feels through the body. Now grabbing a hold of our right wrist with our left hand, we'll stretch that right side of our body just a little bit more, pulling the arm across towards the left side. Switching hands, right hand grabs onto left wrist, and we'll pull that arm just a little bit more. Coming through the middle, let's release our arms down. We'll gather the knees in and give ourselves that wonderful hug. Whenever you're able to, start rocking right to left. Noticing any sensation through the hips, any pinching, any knots that we might be needing out through those lower backs. Bringing our awareness to that pelvic area. Now slowing the movement, giving ourselves a bigger hug, we'll start to roll through those ankles. Releasing any cricks and cracks. Encouraging blood flow down through those feet. And we'll single out our stretch, keeping a hold of our right knee. Go ahead and lower that left leg all the way down to the ground. Maybe we just keep the knee into the chest today. Otherwise, I'll invite you to draw the knee over and out towards that right shoulder, firmly pressing that left leg down into the mat, noticing any sensation through the hips. We'll draw the knee over towards the left shoulder if that feels good for you today. Maybe the stretch increases or intensifies through the outside of your right hip. Inhaling through the middle and exhale, release down. We'll repeat that on the left leg now, drawing the knee in. Whether you're leaving it in the center or opening it out to that left shoulder, let's try to press that right leg down a little bit more firmly into the mat. Staying mindful of our breathing. And if you'd like to, joining me by crossing the knee over towards the right shoulder. Doesn't have to go very far. And coming through the middle, we'll release the leg down. Taking the feet flat onto the floor, heels are coming in fairly close to the bum. Arms are coming down by our sides, preparing for our glute bridges. Rolling the shoulders down, inhale, lifting the hips up. Articulating through the spine as we exhale, slowly lower, vertebrae by vertebrae. Inhale, lifting the hips up. Exhale, slow lower. We'll do that twice more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. And last time, inhale, lifting up. Exhale, lowering down. Very nice. From here, leaving your legs where they are, taking hands to back of head for some abdominal work. We tuck in the chin as we zip up the core. Inhale, lift the head. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, never pulling on the head. Exhale. Inhale, lift, starting with those lower bellies. Exhale, down. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. 2 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower down. And inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Amazing. Taking those arms out to the side. Open the legs out just a little bit wider to the edges of our mat. Doing some gentle windshield wipers side to side. Noticing what's happening as we've started to activate the pelvic area, moving through the midsections and the backs. And we can do 1 more wiper each way. And then gently bring ourselves all the way up and over into tabletop position. However you need to make that transition. If we're on a hard surface and this is not super friendly on our knees, you can always double up the mat, or bringing in a towel or an extra yoga mat, that would be great. We'll find tabletop position with hands right underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. We're coming into our spinal balance, extending right arm, left leg, creating a strong straight line, and lower down. Inhale, left arm, right leg. Exhale. Now you can choose not to lift the arm and leg off the floor. You could keep it down as we inhale. Exhale, lower, or inhale, lift it, just no higher than in line with the back. Exhale, release. Inhale, right. Exhale, lower. And last one, inhale, left. Exhale, down. Let's get ready for cats and cows. Inhale, open the chest, look forward. Exhale, tuck the tailbone bellies in, round the back. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. Inhale, open. And one more time, exhale all the way up to cat, really round the backs and push back into child's pose. Now, child's pose is a funny pose that sometimes it bothers our knees, our backs, our ankles. So I want you to really use this as an opportunity to check in with those major joints. Notice your shoulders too, if we're able to extend our arms long and rest the forehead. Let's take a body scan and check in with that body. From here, finding our modified flow series. With our hands firmly pressing into the ground, we'll inhale forward, bringing our body into a kneeling plank. Exhale, lower into a hovered position. Inhale, press straight up into our plank, and exhale, push back into child's pose. We'll do this 3 more times. Inhaling forward, kneeling plank. Exhale, hover, elbows brushing ribs. Inhale, pressing straight up. Exhale, pushing back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, nice long back. Exhale, press up and push back. And one more time, inhaling forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, back. Resting in child's pose. Take a moment. Now, curling our toes underneath of us, we'll get ready to come into our first downward facing dog. Press away from your hands, push back enough with that tailbone, and look back at our feet. Let's pedal the feet, walking right to left. Notice how that feels, if we're feeling any stretch through the feet themselves, the ankles. It's more up through the calves or the hamstrings. And then let's hold a really nice down dog. Hands and feet, hips and shoulder width distance apart, backs flat, necks are long. Shaking the head no, and nodding the head yes. Now from here, let's walk our hands and feet all the way up together. Halfway up in monkey pose is where we'll meet, drawing the hands to our shins or our thighs, trying to really flatten out our backs. Our knees are soft. Our backs are about parallel with the floor. Maybe feeling a stretch through the hamstrings, perhaps feeling the muscles working to support our strong posture through our back. Now we'll switch our weight coming into the heels, finding chair pose. Sit the hips lower, bend the knees, weights in our heels. We can wiggle our toes. We can reach our arms far up to the corner of the ceiling or press them down through heart center. We'll hold this for just a moment as we build some heat through those legs. Good. Next inhale, we reach all the way up tall to standing. And exhale, release. Amazing. At this point, if you had a warm-up sweater on or any socks, maybe you want to take those off. We are going to take ourselves through some warrior poses, and we'll include some flow series for anyone who's interested in doing that. So what I'll ask us to do is start at the very top of our mat, rolling those shoulders down, preparing for first a lateral extension flow. We inhale both hands up nice and tall. Now exhale, lower the left arm down. Inhale, lift arms up. Exhale, lower the right. Inhale, lift. Exhale, left. Keep going. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower that right arm. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower the left. Inhale, lift. Exhale, right. One more each side. Inhaling, lift. Exhale, lower the left. And last time, inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower the right. From here, we inhale both arms up. I want us to exhale slowly, slowly lowering, feeling the shoulder blades coming down our backs. And we'll just take a couple of shoulder rolls. Very, very nice. Shaking off the cobwebs if we still had any. What I'd like us to do next is prepare for warrior one. We'll step our right foot to the very top of our mat and bring that left foot behind us, noticing that feet are placed about hips width distance apart. And if we had that line of tape running across our pelvis and across our collar, we want them to run parallel with the floor. Pushing away from that back heel into our front foot, let's reach our arms either tall up over the head or down through heart center. We'll hold our position, really thinking about sandwiching bellies and backs in as we transfer that weight in through the front foot, spreading out all 5 toes of that front right foot. Slow, deep breath. Switching into warrior two. Turning to the long edge of your mat. If you're facing forward, we bend through that right foot. Now the piece of tape along your hips and shoulders faces the same direction as your left toes. Arms are held strongly as we bend more into that right knee. Rolling those shoulders back, pulling our bellies in nice and tight. We should feel a nice opening along the inside of that right hip, but also some strengthening through the right back side of the leg. Coming into reverse warrior, we open that right hand, big inhale, lift it up, and really bend into the right knee a bit more. Long through that lateral extension of our right side. And watch your breathing. Inhale, release, and exhale, slow lower. Waterfall through lunge. Stepping back into plank position or through tabletop if you'd prefer. Define down dog or child's pose. Now, if you'd like to, you can join me in 2 flow series, otherwise holding this stretch position. Re-inhale forward through plank. Exhale, chaturanga, that slow, controlled lower. Inhale, cobra stretch, lift up. Exhale, push back, down dog or child's. One more flow if you're with me. Inhale, forward. Exhale, control that lower. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, press back. Now, whether we're in child or down dog, let's all walk our hands and feet up to the top edge of our mat, where we'll slowly meet in monkey. However we need to get there, working on that agility and coordination, improving our up and down for functional purposes there, getting up and down off the floor with a little bit more grace, continuing to work towards improving that. From here, we'll soften the knees. Inhale, sweep our arms up tall, and exhale, release. Fidgeting, working our way forward with our left foot at the top of our mat, our right leg behind us in warrior one. Again, I want to consider what the pieces of tape would look like on my hips and collar. Bending forward in through my left knee, knees placed on top of ankle, and then my right foot is completely flat on the floor. Reaching my arms into position, securing my shoulders down my back, and I'm going to close my eyes. Take a few nice deep breaths. Bring my focus internal. Coming out of this warrior one pose, we'll flip our hips to the long edge of our mat. Warrior two, shoulders down, bend forward into that left knee, pushing away from the back edge of your right. Strong through hips and shoulders. Arms are incredibly powerful right now. Lots of energy coming out of our fingers. Continuing to bend to make a 90-degree angle or working towards 90, opening up across that left inner hip. Very nice. Working on range of motion with this flexibility training. Some strength involved to hold the position as we find reverse warrior. Left hand lifts up nice and tall. Extend, really thinking of lifting out of that hip, stretching down that left side of our body up through the shoulder. And remember, if our shoulder's ever bugging us, keep it down on your hip. That's no problem with your hand. Slow, deep breath. Inhale, release. Spiraling down with your exhale, find that controlled waterfall. Sweep back through tabletop or plank, finding down dog or child's pose when you're able. From here, choosing to stretch or choosing to flow with me, we'll inhale forward through plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, press back. Watching our shoulders so that they're not up around our ears. Lots of long neck space here. Inhale to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, press back. Down dog or child's. Now, regardless of where we're stretching, let's all walk our hands and feet together into monkey. Feet are roughly hip-width distance apart, knees are soft, backs become parallel with the floor, creating that table-like surface. Squeezing our shoulder blades together, keeping nice long necks. We'll soften our knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive, lift up tall. And exhale, release. Rolling those shoulders, fidgeting, any wardrobe switches or anything we need to do, grabbing a quick drink of water if you need one, because we'll work our way into our second warrior series. Moving, when you're ready, once you've done what you need to do, our right foot forward, our left foot back into warrior one once more. Okay, so tape line, belly, move it forward through that right foot. Always thinking of alignment, always working on that spatial awareness and body awareness as we find our warrior one position, and we shift that weight even more if we can, pressing down firmly through that back left heel. Lift the chest just a little bit longer. See if you're able to close your eyes. Focusing on our breathing. Whatever is natural for you today. How's our balance? Are we able to activate our inner thigh muscles? Imagining we were holding a Pilates ball between our legs right now, squeezing that ball. From warrior one, we're finding pyramid. Let's release our hands. Straighten out that front leg. If your legs feel too far apart, go ahead and take this as an opportunity to walk them closer together. And then when you're ready, we hinge forward, leaving our hips as flat as possible. As soon as you feel that pull in the back of your right leg up through the hamstring, we're going to rest the hands, whether it's on our hips, our thigh, maybe our foot or the floor. If you have yoga blocks, we always have our yoga blocks on the top of our mat. That way right now you could be putting your hands on your yoga blocks instead. And I want us to breathe. Encourage our parasympathetic nervous system. We want our rest and digest system to be operating primarily, keeping us out of that fight and flight response. Encouraging the body to lengthen those working muscles. Now we can stay here, or you can join me as we progress through some balancing, walking into tripod. We soften that front knee, walking our hands forward, bringing our left leg up close to parallel with the floor if you can. Our right leg is roughly perpendicular. We can keep our hands on the floor, keeping our hips and shoulders square to the floor in this tripod position. Otherwise, we can open up into balanced moon by lifting that left hip to stack it on top of right hip. Leg is still running parallel with the floor. And if we can lift our arm up to the ceiling as well, we can stack shoulder left on top of right, holding our balanced half moon. And if we're still in pyramid, enjoying the stretch, lots of options, always listening to the body, coming out of positions whenever you need to. Otherwise, with me, we'll hold for one more big inhale. And exhale, slowly reverse, walking up that leg from warrior one. Take your time, learn that control. Again, we want that agility, that coordination as we work the legs together. Now, still working on our right foot, we'll do one more balance before we repeat on the left, finding tree. If your balance was a little bit off and you notice that about yourself, perhaps you want to bring yourself to a wall, a table, or a chair to assist you with your balance a little bit more. Otherwise, just noticing the flooring. If your mat's a little bit too thick, stepping on a harder floor, which I'm going to do actually. Okay, so as we roll ourselves into Tadasana, maybe we're holding a wall or table. Let's take that, so we were just standing on our right leg, so let's take our left foot out, open the hip, and draw the foot in. Still standing tall on that right supporting foot. Whether the foot stays near the ground like a kickstand, the calf, or all the way above the knee to the inner thigh, we'd like to avoid pressing our foot right on a big joint like our knee if we can. Let's open that left hip as wide as it'll go, really lift out of the right, and then holding our hands in an intentional position. Whatever that may be today, hold it with purpose, holding that crown on top of our head with so much pride, open across the chest like we've got the most beautiful jeweled necklace on. Notice any fidgeting that's happening through that right foot and ankle. Wonderful opportunity to work further towards improving our balance. One final inhale and exhale, releasing through the middle and coming down. Go ahead and fidget. Again, if there's any wardrobe adjustments you need to make, any drink we need to grab, let's do that now before starting warrior one on the left. And then whenever you're ready, you join back with us, stepping into that left foot, pressing our right foot all the way back behind us, trying to square off our pelvis and collar as best as we can, and then zip up right through the middle. Long arms, unless we're holding heart center. Release those shoulders down our backs, pulling the bellies in, lifting through the head, and see if what you'd like to do right now is close your eyes, internalizing our focus. As we feel the connection of all four corners of both feet pressing into the ground, we feel those strong inner thigh muscles wrapping around that imaginary Pilates ball. We feel our abdominal muscles engaged tightly, allowing us to really lift through this position. Noticing any fidgets through the ankles as we hold our pose. Holding for one final inhale. And exhale, release those arms, opening our eyes if they were closed. We'll straighten the legs, preparing for pyramid. Now, my legs are just a little bit too far apart for my stretch, so I'll walk them closer together, square my hips, and hinge forward. Trying to avoid that tip or twist of the pelvis as we walk down the leg into pyramid. And again, if you have access to yoga blocks, please use them as if they're an extension of your arms. They're an extension of your appendage, so we're able to lengthen. Otherwise, hands on our leg, on the floor. Never important where we end up, as long as where we're holding our position is benefiting our body in terms of the amount of stretch, the quality of the pose itself. Now, choosing to stay in our pyramid pose or progressing with me through our balancing positions, we'll soften that knee as we walk our hands forward, lifting that back right leg up so that it's parallel to the ground or close to, and we can choose to stay in tripod or try our hand at that balanced half moon, stacking right hip on top of left, opening the hips, and then maybe stacking shoulders, lifting that right arm up towards the ceiling. Noticing any stretch across the pelvis or the strength through that right side up through the obliques. One final inhale. And exhale, slowly returning through warrior one as we walk up and step our feet together, completing this warrior series with balance, returning to the space that we repeated, or that we did tree pose at the first time, so we can repeat it again. I'm on a hard surface, finding Tadasana, standing tall on my left leg. I'll extend that right leg out, open that hip, and then draw the foot in, whether the toe stays grounded on the calf or all the way above that knee to the inner thigh. We'll find our position, and remember that can change too. Don't feel stuck like you've chosen a position and you can't change it. Listen to the body and enjoy the experience as we maybe change our arms. What I love is as I'm holding tree, I can usually get just a little bit higher, a little bit taller through that left hip. And perhaps my right is opening up also just a little bit more. There are these micro changes and adjustments we can make as we hold our position. Noticing any fidgeting through that left foot, up through the leg. Taking that final inhale. And exhale, release. Go ahead and fidget. Encourage blood flow to return down through those feet. Grabbing a drink if you need one. If you have blankets, sweaters, or socks, having them close, because we're going to be returning down to the floor at this point in practice. Once you've grabbed all of that stuff, you've taken that drink, you find your place at the top of the mat, meeting the rest of us in Tadasana, and then joining us with our inhale, reaching tall. Exhale, swan dive, hinging from the hips through to forward fold, where we'll stay for a moment. Soft knees, feeling as if our hamstrings are opening up, the tailbone's lifting tall. If it's comfortable to do so, shaking that head no, nodding the head yes. And we'll slowly step ourselves down all the way through tabletop and back into child's pose, sinking those hips, extending our arms and resting our head. Making sure that we feel comfortable in this position and adding in our lateral extension. We'll walk our hands to the right side of our mat with left hand coming on top, pulling away from that left side, sitting a little bit more deeply into our left hip, noticing all the stretch we've been doing past the ribs, the shoulder, into the arm. Notice how this feels. We'll walk our hands through the middle across to the left side with that right hand coming on top. And we'll pull away from that right arm into the hip. Slow our breathing. Be very intentional with our inhale. Be very aware of that exhale. Coming through the middle. We'll lift ourselves up through table, sitting down onto our hips, where we'll sweep those legs around and come into our cradle to baby. Bringing our right foot in, we can rest the foot across the left leg. So my left leg is out straight, my right knee is bent. If this is comfortable for you, please feel free to stay here. Otherwise, you can hold your foot in your hand, your knee in your right hand, or take it one step further to cradle the baby, scooping your leg up as if it's a baby, and you support the knee, which is the baby's head, in your elbow, and the foot, which would be the baby's bum, in your other elbow. And now, as tall as we can sit, we can rock that baby. Whatever version of this you've decided or been able to hold, I want you to notice the stretch that we're feeling somewhere through that right hip. Taking one more big inhale. And exhale, release. Take our time whenever you get out of that position to bring our left foot across that right thigh. Sitting up so tall, we want to remain on both sits bones. Maybe this is as far as we decide to go today, or perhaps you cradle the foot and the knee in the hands, Or we take it that last step, scooping the baby up with our elbows, still standing on both hips as we rock the baby back and forth, back and forth. Slowly, slowly releasing that leg all the way down. And if, again, you have any sweaters, socks, blankets, pillows that you like to finish your practice with, I'll encourage you to please grab that now as we make our way down into our final stretch, which will be our spinal twist. I always draw my knees in for a quick hug when I come to the ground. It's a nice way of expressing gratitude for yourself, choosing, as I mentioned, if you are layering up and getting comfy cozy, so to speak, to do that now. And when you're ready or able to, completing our spinal twist, we'll take our knees up about 90 degrees with our arms coming out to the side, drawing both knees over to the right. We'll try to relax the body as best we can, really imagining someone just saying to you, let go, relax. And we can look over that left arm if it's comfortable, maybe a little neck stretch. You can hold on to that left leg with your right hand. Take a few breaths, noticing any sensation that may be concentrated or localizing along that left side of our body. And we'll lift our knees up and move over to the left side. As much control as you're able to muster here. Allow your body again to be told, let go, relax. And perhaps we hold the leg and look over that right arm. Noticing how the body feels against the mat. And returning through the middle, maybe giving ourselves that last hug. Taking any final stretch you need to before coming into your relaxation pose. For most of us, that will be Shavasana. Some prefer butterfly, taking the position that you're going to be able to relax in, both mentally and physically. Remaining here for the next couple of minutes, noticing your breathing, noticing your shoulders and your hips against the mat. Just take the next few moments to be still in your body, allowing yourself to become aware of where your mind is right now. Take a moment, notice your thoughts. And if you haven't done so yet, just gently close your eyes or find a spot in front of you that can act as a point of focus that's not distracting. Let's bring our awareness to our breathing. Taking full, deep breaths in and out, in and out. Now, let's just allow our breath to settle, finding a natural rhythm. Notice where you feel your breath most clearly. Is it in your nose, in your neck, chest, maybe our belly? If you notice yourself becoming distracted at any point during this final relaxation, draw your focus to the area that you feel your breath most and use that to serve as a point of focus. Breathe in naturally. Allow your body to breathe for you. As you breathe in, be aware of your inhale. As you breathe out, be aware of your exhale. Keep your awareness on your breath as you breathe in and as you breathe out. There's no need to count or slow our breath during this practice. That's not our focus. being aware of your natural breathing without judging or changing. Just focus on your breath. Watch your breathing as we inhale, and watch your breath as we exhale. Like the tide at the beach, we watch the waves come in, and we watch the waves go out. If your breathing changes, that's okay. This happens naturally. Don't push it. Just observe. There's nowhere else you need to be right now. Nothing you need to do. Simply notice your breath, one breath at a time. If your attention slips away, simply bring it back. Acknowledge that your mind wandered. That's okay. Now bring it back and focus on your breath again. Ride the gentle wave of each breath, breathing in and breathing out. Continue to be aware of your breath. Watch it come in and watch it go out. As we reach the end of our practice, I want you to congratulate yourself for taking this time to focus on your breathing and working through our yoga class, for being present. Now gently open your eyes if they were closed and bring yourself slowly into an upright posture if you were laying down. And at this point, I would like to say thank you to everyone. Congratulations again. And we will say our final goodbye together. Taking a big inhale, lifting our hands all the way up above our head to prayer. Exhaling down through heart center. Namaste. Thank you very much, everyone. And I look forward to seeing you next week.